There's a video floating around right now. It's called Bundy Ranch, What You Aren't Being Told. On the Storm Clouds Gathering YouTube channel, there is some very specific disinformation actually being distributed in this very video.
To be perfectly honest, I get the impression this story was fabricated by some stoned college kid who thought it would be hilarious to send it to an alternative media outlet as a prank.
Former land broker who worked in that area for nearly 20 years issued this report to our newsroom. He says it's not about the turtles, it's about water. There are developers working for military contractors that want the land and water for mining weapons-grade minerals for industry. They want to sell the land by the highway for real estate development because it's close to I-15. And the Bundys have been refusing to sell what they actually own directly for over 20 years. Many buyers sent me out there with crazy offers for that land for many years. It's prime real estate, not worthless desert. There is a natural gas pipeline. We present former BLM volunteer Rusty Hill's records research, detailing his firsthand experience in the Bunkerville area, its value to the military-industrial complex, and most notably the corporations that bear Harry Reid's own name in Bunkerville, Nevada, bordering U.S. lands and the Bundy Range.
These mountains here are real high, and a lot of real high-quality minerals, especially heavy metals. And this mountain range here is called the Improperly range, and it has a real steep area too along here, which is great for as a buffer to the Nellis Range and the Nevada test site that's over in this area here. All of this land here is controlled by the military. But the BLM has been evicting people out of this area north of the Lake Mead for a long time. They've evicted a lot of people out of this area. It's really interesting what's been going on here. Okay, let's zoom down to the Bundy Ranch again. It has a slightly different color than over here, but actually this color is more related to the mineral content of this mountain range over here. It's primarily what's called magnesium dolomite. Dolomite was originally limestone, and then when some huge volcanoes erupted across the planet about 600 million years ago, it converted all the dolomite or all the limestone in the dolomite because of magnesium. So there's a lot of magnesium, and a lot of magnesium is used for a lot of stuff, especially in military weapons applications. In fact, during World War II, this whole area was mined dramatically for magnesium. They use it for rocket fuel and all kinds of stuff. And okay, so let's look here. One thing I want to talk about before we go is look at this. This is a major intersection developed here on I-15. And we're essentially in the middle of nowhere. There's no town here. There's no reason to have a highly developed major intersection in this area. They don't spend millions of dollars and build a nice fancy road down through the middle of nowhere to give the farmers and the ranchers access. The reason why this interchange is here is because back in the 70s, and could have gone back as early as the 50s, somebody knew that this area was a highly valuable area, and they were planning on someday putting in an access road here. And more than likely it was a military related person, because this is the kind of land a military industrial company wants to control. This is highly remote land. It's impossible to get to this land from anywhere but to the north. Through here, this is the only viable area to access. So why would they put a major intersection in here for a couple of cattle ranchers?
But here's where it gets interesting. In this next video, Rusty provides more background into his volunteer work with the BLM and breaks down the parcels of land using the public records from Clark County. In it, he points out irregularities and anomalies in the public record of the sale prices of land surrounding the Bundy Ranch and the owners of it, the BLM, Cedar Development Corporation, Zion Bank Corp., Bunkerville Compound LLC, and Reid Bunkerville LLC, who you will find paid nothing for the land. Let's go now to the investigation.
Okay, this is what's called the Clark County Open Web Mapper. This is what we're going to use to see what's going on with the land history in the Bunkerville area, especially associated with the Bundy Ranch. The Bureau of Land Management, mandated by Congress to manage national parks and just general public lands to protect it. It was switched under to the Department of Interior, and I believe that was after World War II. Starting in the late 70s, things started changing. One of my primary jobs was to go to the Clark County records office and figure out what a land history was, what was going on. BLM is subdivided down to 640 acre parcels. That's called a section. That's usually the smallest size you'll see this land. See over here, we have in the property information, USA, Bunkerville area, no price, 640 acres. Usually, in the way that it's supposed to be, the only time you don't have a 640 acre parcel of USA land, it would be a bordering private land. And usually these borders are well defined and very specific, and you don't have any intermingling going on. But after the big survey that was conducted by Congress in the early 90s, this began to change. And this is what we're going to look at here. I'm going to go over here to Bunkerville and point out a couple things real quick. Okay, we're going to go here, Cedar Development Court, Zion's First National Bank, Zion, Dale Hunt, trustee, Zion's First National Bank. That means there was a land battle that went on here. Look, Cedar Development Court, $250,000 for 7.83 acres. That's outrageous. That's a huge amount of money for nothing. Cedar Development Court. Look at this history here. There's no price. 23.30. There should be a price here. This is really highly irregular. It's almost illegal. That should not be the case. There should always be a price when there's a land history. It's very important for issuing taxes. Bunkerville Compound LLC. And it's a really short history. So why do we have land here that has this kind of name associated with it, and it has a real short history, but goes back to 1987, but there's no other names here? That's really strange. It's another anomaly. Cedar Development Court, 0. Okay, we got some acres here. Cedar Development Court, 0. Look. There's no history. The size changed. It went from 50 to 17 acres. That's weird. How'd that happen? Look, all this Cedar Development Court and no pricing. Reid Bunkerville LLC. Paid 0. So what happened with Adam Tismuth? Laverne Reid ended up with this property and ended up in the Reid Bunkerville Trust. And there's no price. 23.7 acres. Reid. There's a few Mormons with the last name of Reid, and they're all related. Cedar Development Corp. Cedar Development Corp owns all this land here for nothing. Now look, USA. What is the USA doing with 15 acres in an area here like this? And it used to be 35.62 acres. USA. 11.2 acres. Let's see. Right next to the Reid. Oh, and it shrunk too. So what happened to 65 of these acres? Reid, Bunkerville. 53.28 acres. Reid, Bunkerville Trust. All the way back to 1986. No status. 53.28 acres. What's the Reid, Bunkerville Trust? Welfare farm, what does that mean? Oh well, who knows? Oh, by the way, the welfare farm got their land for free. 25.27 acres. Nobody gets land for free. Information's being hidden. Cedar Development Corp. With a post office box in Cedar City. Nobody knows who these people are. We know who the Bunker Roger family is. Cedar Development Corp. Okay, USA. 15.85 acre lot. They went from 35.62 acres to 15.85 acres. How's that possible? Land doesn't shrink. Have a land. What is this, a joke or something? They paid $35,000 for 40 acres. And it's right by the highway. That's pretty cheap for land right by a highway, actually, in this consideration. Now look, the USA owns this land. And look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things going on here. No status. It used to be 273 acres, and now it's only 93.93 acres. It's been shrinking, and they don't say anything about it. What's going on here? See, there's somebody stealing land, literally. There's something going on here. Okay, I think I've made a few points here about with what's going on with land. Here's USA land, 65 acres on the other side of the highway, but it shrunk, 15 acres. What's going on here with this disappearing, shrinking USA land? What's going on with our tax dollars here? Okay, public right of way.